Hello, everybody. I was just feeling like mixing it up and decided just to come on and do a live and start just talking about some of my thoughts. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna set a little intention as I do. Universe, source, God, whatever is feeling the most aligned, allow just to come forth through me. Whatever wants to be said, whatever wants to be shared, whatever wants to be received by anyone who's going to receive this message. Just allow me to be a vessel, allowing that for it to come through. So, all right, without further ado. All right. So, what I'm going to talk about, first I'm going to talk about, I'm making some spaghetti right now, and it's going to be so yummy. So, it's going to be delicious. But what I was really feeling like talking about is anxiety and what anxiety really is, and how we can shift our perception of it to allow us to really thrive in the world. So, anxiety, I'm going to give you guys an example. So, there are different feeling states that we experience as we go throughout day-to-day life. And these feeling states are how we experience reality. And for example, we could say hello. Hello, 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 hello. So when we're thinking thoughts, we have these words that are going through our brain. The thing that we're actually carrying with us, the thing that we're actually experiencing is not the thought itself, but the state of being behind it. And this is something that I talk about quite a lot because I think it's an important distinction to make. And these feeling states that we have behind our thoughts are significant because we can continue to think words over and over and over again, but we can sometimes still be stuck in a similar feeling state despite our thoughts changing. Now, these different feeling states that we experience, there are dissonant feeling states and there are resonant feeling states. And so our resonant feeling states are like, in physics, it's like kinetic energy. It's the ones that are smooth, it's ease, it's in motion. You don't want to change anything while you're experiencing it. It's love, it's joy, it's laughter, it's play, it's curiosity, it's awe, it's dancing your butt off, it's flow state. Like that's a very common way that we describe this is flow. It's these things that, it's just hanging out with your friends, or, oh my God, like I just love this ice cream so much. It's just so good. Those are not what, in my opinion, a spiritual practice is about. Like it is about that, but I think as a culture and as humans, we are, well, I don't want to generalize. Everybody has different relationships to every emotion. It can be equally as hard to let ourselves experience the resonant emotions, the resonant feeling states. Now, those ones are great. That's a state of alignment. I don't want to change anything. This is just, it doesn't need an exterior motive. It doesn't need an exterior point because what you're experiencing is the point. That's it. Joy doesn't need a modifier. It's joy. Peace doesn't need a modifier. It's peace. Now, our other feeling states, and this is where I'm going to tie in anxiety, is our dissonant feeling states. And this would be rage, anger, fear, despair, feeling attacked, feeling even boredom. Boredom, I think, is a dissonant feeling state because nobody wants to feel bored. And so these dissonant feeling states are, the very point of them is that we don't want to experience them. They're not feeling states in the sense that they are designed for us to keep experiencing. They're designed for us to change something about our current way of living, our current way of embodiment, our current way of being, and in a way it's calling us into something deeper. And so if our resonant emotions are these positive feeling states that are like kinetic energy in physics, the dissonant feeling states are not, it's not that they shouldn't exist, it's not that they don't matter, it's not, hey everybody's saying hi. It's not that these dissonant feeling states don't matter. It's that they're just calling us to change something. They're calling us to change. And if we resist them, if we think that they shouldn't exist, if we think that they don't matter, we're gonna be stuck in them because at the core, we do want something to change about our current experience, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing that things want to change. So tying that back to anxiety, anxiety at the very beginning of anxiety is a dissonant feeling state. For example, let's say you're sitting in an uncomfortable position. You would just adjust. You would feel the misaligned feeling. You would feel the dissonant feeling state that, oh, I'm just uncomfortable right now. And you would shift it. Boom. There's no anxiety. There's no worries. It's just, you just change it. That's it. Now, where anxiety comes into play is that you feel a dissonant experience. You have a dissonant emotion. And then all of a sudden, you pin the reason that you are having that dissonant emotion onto something that is not in your control. And so anxiety can only exist in relationship to something that is not at all in our control. And you might think that that's bad news. Like that means that we're just stuck in anxiety forever. But what I'm going to bring up, what I'm going to challenge is that what anxiety actually is, the reason that we get stuck in anxiety, the reason that we get stuck in worrying is because what we're looking for is, instead of changing our relationship to the thing that we think needs to change for us to feel better, like someone's perception of us that is completely outside of our control. What we actually want to change is not that person's belief of us, but our relationship to that thing. And so let's stick with this example of feeling like it's totally outside of our control, the way that someone is perceiving us. I'm gonna throw in my spaghetti real quick. Making spaghetti, if anybody is curious. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go, right here. Flip it around. Yeah, it's gonna be yummy. I think that should be good. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, let's roll with that example of other people's perception of us. So we could be worried, oh my gosh, I'm so worried about this way that this person is gonna perceive me. I'm so worried about, will this person like me? Will this person accept me? Am I safe to show up authentically to this group of people? Am I safe to be around these people? And we spend so much time thinking about it, and the reason that that causes anxiety is because ultimately it's completely outside of our control. And we don't want it to be in our control. And that's a key distinction that I want to introduce as well. We don't want to control other people's perception of us, because if we could control the way that someone is loving us, it wouldn't be love anymore. Love is freely given. It's freely given. And it's the greatest thing ever, because it just is. It's, someone doesn't love you for any reason. They love you because they love you. And so once we can have that perception shift that the solution to my anxiety is not forcing this person to like me. It's not forcing this person to like me. It's actually what is actually upsetting me, what is actually causing the dissonant feeling state, if we're going back to the original dissonant state, is that I am suppressing myself. I'm suppressing myself, and that's the thing that is really, really not feeling good. But again, if we suppress ourselves, and we do this unconsciously, it's learned over time, because I think we're kind of conditioned to live in a world where we think that love can be earned, and like I said, it can't be earned. So with these dissonant feeling states, you feel the dissonant feeling state, and then if instead of saying, I feel this dissonant feeling state because I'm not being myself, if instead you're saying, I'm feeling this dissonant feeling state because this other person doesn't like me, you're just going to be stuck in anxiety. There's nothing that can ever be solved because of it. And I would even argue that even if you do end up getting this person's approval, like let's say you figure out, oh, they were really, really upset because they don't like how vulnerable I'm being. They don't like how real I'm being. And so I decide to suppress myself. I decide to be less real. You're still, even if you get their approval, you're still going to feel misaligned, because at the end of the day, you not being yourself is always going to feel dissonant, because you're here to be yourself and there's nothing wrong with you. And we know that deep down that there's nothing wrong with us, that we're here to express our individuality, and no one needs to agree with it. No one needs to get on board with it, because we're part of the divinity of the perfection of creation, and creation doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't need to. It just is. There will never be anyone else like us, and there never has been. And we're here to express that. So, again, that's what anxiety really is. It is us pinning the reason for the dissonant feeling state on something that is out of our control, when really we don't even want to control that thing. So I think to get out of anxiety, it's really, really important to have that perception. But in the meantime, I think something that's really, really good to practice is having so much grace for yourself. And yeah, having so much grace for yourself, because if you're living in a way that you are feeling so much anxiety, again, about this thing that is totally outside of your control, it's likely that you learned to do this at a time where you felt like there was no other choice. You felt like there was no other choice to be this way. And the anxiety is actually there to keep you in this dissonant feeling state so that you feel safe. Putting more water in my pasta. Again, going back to the people example, maybe you were raised in an environment where it wasn't safe to be yourself. And so anxiety was something that you needed just to survive. Because if your parents weren't approving of you, if your parents weren't allowing you to be if your parents weren't giving you approval, you might not have survived. You might not have survived if your parents weren't showing up for you, if your society wasn't showing up for you. When you're a kid, you really, 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 really need to depend on the environment that's right around you because you don't have any other choice. But as you get older and older and older, you start to get more freedom and you start to get more opportunities to be like, hey, even if this group of people isn't understanding me, even if they're like, yeah, maybe I just don't feel like I have the same freedom to be myself around this group of people. Once you get older and older, you can choose to be around different people and you can say, you know what? A shark doesn't belong in cold waters. Like, I don't need to belong everywhere. Like, it's okay that I'm drawn towards warmer waters, or, you know, some types of plants can only grow in the rainforest and some can only grow in Ohio. That's where I live, Ohio. And I think that that's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing that we all have different environments that are more suitable for us, and we have different people that we want to, just be in belonging with, in community with. I think that almost all of our worries at the core go back to us trying to change other people's perception of us, even if it goes to like on a mass level of feeling unsafe to be yourself in society, like feeling unsafe to be sensitive in society. So yeah, that is what I'm feeling for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them, and I'm happy to answer. If you guys are curious to learn more information besides just asking me questions, I am speaking from the teachings of Zen Buddhism, and this book. It's called Yeshua, the Freedom Transmissions. Let's see if I can drop it in the chat. Okay, I'm such a noob. Maybe I can't. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's called it's called Yeshua, the Freedom Transmissions. Yeshua, Y-E-S, yes, and then U-A, Yeshua, the Freedom Transmissions. Again, if you guys are more curious to like experience the state of being, like I guess to learn more about these things that I'm talking about, that's where I would go. Or any Zen teachers are also amazing. It's the same thing, all the Pathway of Peace. So yeah, let me see if you guys say anything. Lots of highs. Yeah, it was so random. It jumped to like 36 people and then just stopped. So yeah, it's so funny. YouTube Live is so depressing. Wow, staying true to the name, Chaos Whisperer. Well done, well done. Yeah, I think I'll probably leave it there for now. Let me see if anything else is feeling right to say. Yeah, the other thing that's coming to mind is that like any emotional stuff that you're carrying right now, it's so important that you're just being so kind to yourself, because this stuff matters. It matters so much, and especially because most of our ancestors have lived in a way that's been about survival. Like the human journey up to this point, I think, has been predominantly about survival. Well, it's hard for me to say predominantly because we don't really know like what humans experienced. But either way, I think it's a very common theme in our society today that many people are living in survival mode. And it's almost seemed that like the point of existence is to survive, to prolong survival. And I deeply, deeply feel that we're moving out of that life is starting to become less and less about like, how can I make more money? How can I get more food? How can I get more water? How can I get more shelter? And I think it's becoming more and more about what does it really mean to be alive? What does it really mean to exist? So yeah, this is what we're being faced with right now, and I think that all of these beautiful emotions for many of us are coming to the surface in a magnified way right now, because if we want to move back into balance with this planet, if we want to move back into balance as a world, to like learn how to live together and to learn to be on this planet together, all the stuff that's been keeping us from coexisting together in peace kind of has to come to the surface first. And I think we're literally seeing that. So in the same way that, you know, there's 4 seasons, there's like the start of new life is in death, the start of the spring is in the winter. I think a lot of the instability that we're seeing around the world as a lot of these systems fail that we are supposed to rely on is actually the exact prerequisite we need to catalyze new change, to reimagine a world that's more balanced, that's more aligned. So yeah, and I had the chills saying that. So anyway, okay, yeah, I think I'm cool with leaving it there. But sending much love to you guys, whoever tuned in. Thank you for receiving this. Thank you for holding space for me. And I'll see you guys next